everyone, it's Chanel Summers here.
Hello everybody, Jackie Graves, nice to meet you.
Hey everyone, Megan Secord here, and we are The Collective.
Like it shouldn't be, I'm starting to learn about Black history more when I'm 21 years old. But after the past, like it just happened so quickly where it was just like 3 deaths of Black people in a row in the States that were really widely, like it was just all over social media and everything. So everyone knew about it and something just kicked in me. And I think that's happened with a lot of people, a lot of white people especially, where our eyes are kind of opening a little bit more, and that feeling of white guilt is being very present right now, which can be very problematic, but I think white people are just starting to have their eyes kind of open, and because social media is so prominent too, everyone's being able to see things that are happening in the States. Like nothing's hidden and it's all visual, and it's really, I think about that a lot, is we're watching people die like on video and we're just becoming desensitized to it, and we're seeing like for someone to watch that and to just like go on about their day, like that's a marker of privilege. Like you don't have to feel impacted about it. So seeing like those 3 videos at the same time really like kicked me into full gear, and I wish it's something that happened a really long time ago, but instead of feeling bad about that and like diving into like the white guilt, I'm just trying to be really active and learning now from here to the rest of my life, doing this like anti-racism work. Well, I'm really lucky with my family where they were like there's some things that they believed initially that with me talking to them and me sharing what I've learned, that they've kind of shifted their focus. Like they're very open to listening. I have noticed like little things like and it doesn't bug me at all, but like my follower count going down, like things like that. So I know that it's annoying some people. But at the end of the day, like I'm going to keep sharing those resources because I just think it's really important. And I think that it's really important too. Like I'd rather influence, say, I don't know, like a younger person who follows me who might remember me from high school or something and be like, oh, I like Lindsay. Like she really cares about this. Like maybe I should look into this more. And it's such a small little thing, but it could make a big difference. And then they could start sharing these things with their family and their friends. So I have noticed like some people like story views going down. I don't care about those things, but I did notice it. So I know that some people are kind of like avoiding my content, but that's okay. I've also had a lot of people reach out and ask for resources, which is exactly why I keep sharing things, because I want to be able to help anyone that's really struggling right now to like know where to start. So a big thing, I actually just finished, I was watching an IGTV, it was like an hour long. Highly recommend Mo Motivates on Instagram, love her. And she did an IGTV, and she was basically saying like how to do anti-racism work and how to support Black people as a non-Black person. And in it, she really ingrained in me. I'm constantly learning during this process, and even this morning, like I was just learning from her, where it's really important to amplify and listen to Black voices right now. Like white people are not the face of this at all. And I think that's where a lot of like the white fragility and stuff comes from. So, because we're so used to being like put high up. But right now, like this is a movement for Black people. We need to listen to them. We need to seek out those resources that they have already created. We need to pay them and support them any way we can, and then figure out how to move from there. Like I'm gonna listen to them instead of listening to, I don't know, Bob across the street, you know? Like that's the most important thing right now, is to amplify those voices that for so long like people have been silencing. But yeah, she mentioned in the IGTV, like I guess a lot of I haven't seen it on my personal feed, but I'm sure it's happening, where a lot of white people are doing like a week of anti-racism work, and then they're starting like a program where you pay them money and then they bring you through a course. And I think that that's a little, like, that's ridiculous. Like, this is not, anti-racism work is something I'm going to be doing for my whole life because there's so much to learn and so much to unlearn. And it's about dismantling this whole white supremacy system that's been embedded in me. Like, that's not something I can do in a week. That's something that I have to work really hard on for the rest of my life. It's hard doing this work, but it's supposed to be hard. Like, that's how you really change. Like, it's incredibly uncomfortable, but it's led to a lot of big changes in my life. One really big thing that I'm trying to like pass on to my friends and everything is your dollar is like your vote. The companies that you're supporting and you're purchasing from, they could be using that money that they're getting to support like a political campaign that you might not actually align with, but your money is still going into that. So instead of buying from like those big businesses and trying to be aware too of like what businesses are supporting these issues, like try to shop small businesses. And I was talking to Megan, and I'm trying to consciously like things that I regularly buy. So skincare, for example, I'm a skincare junkie. I'm trying to find Black-owned businesses that sell skincare because I want to try to actively have that switch in my mind where I'm like, instead of running to Shoppers to buy something, can I find it from a small business, especially a minority-owned business? And like little switches like that are so important because your money's actually going somewhere where, you know, like it's going to a much better cause. It's going to support like a family, whatever it is, instead of going to, you know, support a political campaign that you don't really align with. Yeah. Well, I just got my parents to stop going to Home Depot because that was the one where Lowe's donated, I'm not going to get the number right. I think it was 25 million, but I could be wrong, to homeless people. I don't know the cause exactly. But then Home Depot donates to he who shall not be named. I highly recommend, and it's so crazy, like the day and age that we live in, the amount of technology, it is so easy to like have access to this knowledge and these resources. There's actually a Google Chrome extension called Progressive Shopper, and it will tell you if the company that you're purchasing from, if they donate Democrat or Republican. So it's like it's good information to have, and it's just right there. Like, you, as soon as you go on the website, it notifies you and it tells you like the what percentage they've donated to. Yeah, so it's really, and even looking up, I know prison labor is another big issue that a lot of companies use, but this information is literally all on Google. Like, it's a Google search away. Before you make a purchase, just try to look it up. Urban Outfitters, that broke my heart, but I will move on. Urban Outfitters is another one that I had to cut out. But at the same time that I'm cutting out a lot of businesses, I'm finding a lot of other ones that I am purchasing from. There's a lot of Instagram pages right now, especially local. There's Black-owned Toronto is the one I've been using mostly because it's the closest. And it's all the Black-owned stores in the like greater Toronto area as well. I think there was a couple with the like Ajax shops too. So yeah, it's all about just doing a little bit of research before you make a purchase, and it makes a world of a difference. Like, if we all kind of actively did that, I think as white people, it's really important to understand both our place in this movement and understand that like we need to be there to support in order to make this movement as powerful as it can be. So it's about you, like everyone has different resources as well. And I think that's something that really stuck with me. There's an artist I know in Peterborough, and like he's working with, like he's kind of in the Toronto art scene, and he's kind of working with getting more Black artists represented in like contemporary galleries and such. And yeah, so it's, if you're involved in like the school or in your like place of work, like trying to figure out how to do anti-racism work there. And it's really tough to acknowledge how embedded white supremacy is into like your education system and everything. But it's important to acknowledge that in order to dismantle it. A big thing that I've been trying to do, and it's difficult, but I'm going to keep trying and trying to figure out how to do this effectively, is with the curriculum in Ontario, like trying to get more Black history education, more Indigenous education. It's sad that at my university, like we have a mandatory Indigenous credit, and that's more than a lot of universities have. Like, it should be so much more than that in all institutions. White guilt is so prevalent, and I get it. And I think it's normal to feel that. It's just what you do with it afterwards. I've noticed a lot of the quote unquote liberal white woman. There's actually an article, I saved it because I was going to read it today, and it's about why the white woman is the most dangerous person. Where I've been following a lot of Black female activists on Instagram, seeing their posts, and I think my algorithm's finally catching up because that's a lot of my feed right now. And a lot of white women will immediately feel attacked and put like a paragraph comment about how they're being discriminated against, like they're trying to pull the reverse racism. And it's just this immediate like reaction to get defensive because you don't want to be labeled racist and you don't want to think anything that you've done in the past is offensive. But like we've all made mistakes, and I'm going to keep making mistakes throughout this journey, but it's about listening and then growing from that and not getting defensive and putting that wall up, because if I'm not growing, then I'm not helping at all. And yeah, I definitely think that's in the school system, especially Catholic school systems. It's everywhere, but I think there's something where Catholicism doesn't want to acknowledge its dark past, because as soon as I went to university where it's not Catholic based, that's when it was finally acknowledged. It's very, and then you hear the people who are like, why don't they have White History Month? And it's because that's every month. That's the only education that we have at school. Truly, like it should be. Yeah, no, I think there's so many issues with the history in high schools, and I think especially in Catholic schools, there is that feeling of like guilt, and you don't want to say that people like Christians in the past did anything wrong, but I think that's important in order to improve Catholicism for the future. I think people are scared to critique religion because the whole purpose of religion is like it's the way you're deciding to live your life. Like it's so embedded into your everyday and your beliefs and your morals that you don't want to think any of it's like wrong. And it's not that it's wrong, it's that in the past it hasn't been applied in ways that benefit others, like it's been twisted and not critically analyzed. That critical analysis, it's so I took social work in my first year, and that was the buzzword. And it's so important in everything, or else you end up like you guys have probably heard about this in your class, like the 60 scoop. And just like Indigenous children being taken from their families because it was the vision of the social worker, usually Catholic, who was like, oh, you're not fit for the family. But yeah, there's a dark history, and it needs to be taught so that people can understand their religion more thoroughly and how it should actually be applied and embedded. Yeah.